Well, Madam Chairman, Ranking Member Crapo, and members of the committee, I appreciate the opportunity to come today and speak about ways that agriculture can help our nation mitigate greenhouse gas emissions in a timely and cost-effective manner. As Senator Crapo already gave my resume, I won't reiterate that, but I would summarize the act of being a manager of a crop and livestock and timber management operation is really, in a more general sense, we are carbon managers. And the more we start thinking about the most important resource that we manage, and it's only through that resource that we do all the things we do in the natural resource provider industry, it brings us to bear what this issue today is all about. For the last 3 years, I've been part of the National Steering Group of Ag Leaders studying carbon markets and climate change. And on behalf of that group, the Ag Carbon Market Working Group, I commend you for looking at cost-effective strategies to achieve greenhouse gas emissions. Science has proven that ag lands have great potential for sequestering carbon. Sequestration is a proven sink that offsets the impact of emissions. Analysis by the Pew Center indicates that agriculture can provide up to 40% of the reductions that we're hoping to achieve by 2010 compared to 1990 levels. Consumers and resources have concerns, and we can't discount those concerns as they relate to potential negative impacts from a carbon-constrained economy. No one wants to face increased costs and uncertainties that could derail economic progress. But in my view, the question is, do we pay now or do we pay more later? There is a continuing cost of ignoring this issue. Our working group has studied emissions mitigation strategies all across the U.S. and globally. We've learned that with the right incentives and education, there's no limit to the technologies and practices that businesses and consumers can tap to reduce negative impacts on our climate. The organizations that I represent urge you to recognize the diverse mitigation options that agriculture can offer. These include things like conservation tillage, forestry and agroforestry, reduced methane from manure and rice lands, precision ag efficiencies, displacing fossil fuel with renewable energy and reducing nitrous oxide emissions from croplands. Allowing market-based carbon offsets as a part of a national cap-and-trade program provides both a cost containment measure for emitters and a shock absorber to our economy. A cap-and-trade system makes it profitable for farmers and foresters to invest in environmental stewardship. As an energy-intensive industry, agriculture is sensitive to energy prices. It's in all of our interest to create incentives for transitioning to alternative energy that is both affordable and less damaging to our environment. Greenhouse gas offsets can play a huge role in creating those incentives. The EPA and others have modeled cap-and-trade bills such as Lieberman-Warner, and they've concluded that domestic and international offset provisions in Senate Bill 2191 capped at the 15% level could reduce allowance prices by 93% over what they would be without these offsets. If we have unlimited ag offsets, those prices could fall even further. EPA has also confirmed that if we have unlimited offsets, this will not hamper technological innovation, but will reduce the cost of the entire cap-and-trade system. Many organizations are pursuing or already engaging in carbon sequestration services. Soil carbon credits can be generated and traded in the greenhouse gas markets with absolute confidence. My personal experience bears this out. In 2002, the Pacific Northwest Direct Seed Association penned one of the first contracts in the United States and frankly throughout the world to engage in a voluntary carbon offset trade. We contracted with Energy Corporation in Louisiana to direct seed cropland for 10 years that would sequester 30,000 tons of CO2. Carbon trading has proven that education and incentives related to these offsets can result in significant change in farming practices, and that's what this is all about. We want to change behavior, and those change in behavior can result in both economic viability as well as environmental improvement. Emissions offsets that the ag sector can provide are high quality, they are measurable, and they are verifiable. Scientists have studied this for years. Soil carbon sequestration also has many benefits that go beyond greenhouse gas emission reductions. It improves air and water quality. reduces soil erosion, enhances moisture retention, and improves soil productivity. A sad fact for our industry is that agriculture has lost over half the native organic matter in our farming soils across the United States over the past 300 years. This has resulted from tillage, wind, and water erosion. Practices such as direct seeding or no-till are reversing this trend. And by sequestering carbon, we are strengthening the soil quality, not further degrading it. We're also reducing fossil fuel consumption on the farm. No other sector can offer such high-value offsets to society at such a low cost. As we move to a mandatory greenhouse gas system, buyers will demand projects that pass rigorous measurement and verification tests. The dairy industry is already doing this, as you've indicated. Those who say agriculture cannot offer a real mitigation solution are simply wrong. U.S. agriculture and forestry are some of the only sectors with currently available, high-quality, low-cost, verifiable emission reduction technologies. Mitigating and solving our climate crisis will not be easy. Other world players were initially hesitant to include ag and forestry as part of the solution. That was a mistake. They are now incorporating ag and forestry as vital components of their climate mitigation strategies. And here's an area where the U.S. has a unique opportunity to provide an international leadership role by crafting reasonable and innovative ways to include ag and forestry offsets as part of the total solution. Agriculture is ready, and we're willing to meet this challenge. Because of our conviction that we can mitigate emissions, the Ag Carbon Market Working Group has endorsed unlimited offset markets. So has a report just released by former Majority Leaders Daschle and Dole. On behalf of the Bipartisan Policy Center, I would respectfully ask that this report be submitted for the record.
Without objection, it will be.
Stewardship, in closing, has been a Wittman family farm tradition for 4 generations. For decades, we've measured stewardship by what we could see above the ground. That's not enough. Natural resource providers must all become better carbon managers. Carbon markets and potential for ag offsets revenue provides the dual benefit of both helping our climate while also providing new incentives to improve soil quality. Thank you again for the chance to speak to you today, and I gladly will answer any questions and assist you in crafting responsible policies as we move forward.